I think I'm going to continue to follow the adventures of these two naked Rimworld ladies, so I kind of want to introduce them, I think. Lydia Dweeb Zimmerman is sort of a jack of all trades. There's nothing that she technically can't do. She grew up underground tending fungus crops, apparently, and transitioned somehow into a teaching career in adulthood. And because of her background, she actually doesn't really care whether she ever sees the light of day, so she and I do have at least one thing in common. Actually, it's a really good trait to have if you ever need to put your character on a night shift, for example, or just kind of keep them inside for whatever reason. Her companion, Valil Zumi, is a con artist psychopath who won't physically fight back even as an act of self-preservation. I guess con artists can only fight back with their keen wit or something like that, but at least she can take a beating owing to the tough trait, and that ain't too bad. Honestly, you could do a lot worse than these two, and it makes me a little bit sad that I'm about to put them through hell. In fact, I'm going to confess that my gameplay has been a little reckless, I guess. Honestly, I got cocky when the first few days passed without incident. So anyway, I should say that I prioritized getting some simple sleeping quarters sorted straight out, because the last thing that I need is these two getting all depressed because they have to rough it for a few days. You know, God forbid that they wake up sad because they saw some dirt in the general vicinity of where they sleep, that kind of thing. I mean, it's bad enough that they're going to be crying for a while about the lack of a dining table. But, you know, things were going well, and I was even lucky enough to have a visit from a bulk goods trader in the first couple of days who was willing to buy up a bunch of my wood and sell me the cloth that I needed in order to craft some simple tribal garments. Tribal wear, by the way, is pretty decent. The material cost to craft it is pretty low, and it basically covers most of the body except for the arms. It's also surprisingly effective at insulating from both cold and heat. So I guess my point is there's no shame in dressing colonists like the Flintstones, especially at this stage. The trouble with Rimworld, though, is that there are just so many ways that the storyteller can choose to mess with you. Food poisoning is a good one. That's something that results from a messy cooking environment, and I have to admit to some culpability in that, I guess, because it probably wasn't smart to place my butchering spot a few squares away from the campfire where Dweeb and Sumi cook up their meals, but that's nothing compared with setting the entire forest on fire. A lightning strike started a raging wildfire, and to be perfectly honest, I don't think there's anything I realistically could have done about that. I started trying to cut a fire break between all my stuff and the spreading flames, but there is no way that I could have accomplished that in time, so I don't even know why I bothered. I guess this was just Randy random teasing me though, because it started pouring rain at some point which helpfully doused the fire. I kind of want to make a mental note to revisit the idea of a fire break later though. Anyway, but while I was scrambling, Randy did give Zumi a disease called sensory Mechanites, so I guess he still kind of had the last laugh. Sensory Mechanites is this thing where you get a lot of bonuses, but your character is in too much pain and in such a bad mood that you probably don't really get any benefit out of them. Also, Dweeb wound up flipping out as a result of getting wet or something. To be specific, Dweeb had a mental break called a Tantrum, which essentially means that she goes around destroying everything that she sees. Actually, I think that as far as mental breaks go, this one is not too bad because she just gets it out of her system and it's done. Like, I get it. Sometimes you just kind of need to punch a wall or something and then you're kind of like, this is dumb, I'm over it now. So, yeah, that's what she did. And I can't say I've been playing the smartest game possible to this point. I am going to try to turn this around though, I promise you.